everyone, my name is Gintare Mazeikaite. I'm a data expert and research associate at LISSY. Today I'm going to walk you through a short exercise where I will show how to use price deflators in LISSY data using a remote execution system LISSY with Stata package. If you have never used LISSY, but you're a student or you come from a funding country, you can request access from our user support. If you want to know more about your eligibility and the registration process, you will find more information under the Data Access tab on our website. To log in, use the Login LISSY tab at the top of the web page, put in your login details, and connect. The first thing we have to do before we start writing our code is to select the project. I'll be using the Luxembourg Income Study database, therefore I select LISSY. I will be using Stata package. You can also select 3 other packages, and I can also give the subject to the job that I will be doing. I have already ran the code before, therefore I can find it under the Recent Jobs tab. I can place the cursor over the job, and I can place it into the edit mode. And here I can also change the subject if I wish. I will call it price deflators in LISSY. The first thing that I will do is I will define 2 global macros. The first one I will call datasets, where I will list all the datasets that I will be accessing, starting from Brazil in 2006 to Chile in 2017. Hence here I will be looking at 2 Latin American countries. The second macro that I will be defining is called bars, where I will list all the variables that I will be using, starting from country name, then year, household disposable income, number of household members, and the household weight. As you can see, I will only be needing household level variables, which means that I will not need to access the personal level file. In the first step, I will append all the datasets. In order to do so, I have to save a new dataset, which I call exercise_ppp, and the new datasets can be saved under the My Data folder within the LISSY system, and they can be accessed by you at any time. Just make sure that you give it a unique name so it doesn't get overwritten by other users. So here I will tell Stata that for all datasets in my macro datasets, I want to use the variables that I have selected before, and I want to take every dataset one by one. And here H stands for a household level dataset, and the personal level datasets would end with the letter P. If it is the first dataset that I will be opening, which is Brazil 2006, I will first save it as exercise_ppp dataset, and then I will append all the rest and save it again. In step 2, I will prepare the data. In this exercise, I want to look at the median equivalized household disposable income, which means that I first have to adjust household disposable income by the household size. I will do so by using the list equivalent scale, which is the square root of the number of household members. Secondly, I will bottom code my data by replacing all the negative values of household disposable income by 0. And lastly, I will only keep the observation of the person in the middle of the income distribution by using the collapse command. Here I will apply household weights and weight by the number of the household members, because I want to look at individuals rather than households. By using the collapse command with median option, I'll have an observation of the median income for every dataset. In step 3, I will measure my country dataset together with the price deflators file. In LISSY, we provide price deflators that are based on 2011 and 2017 purchasing power parities from the International Comparison Program. I will be using the 2017 file, which is called ppp_2017. In this file, I will find the following deflators: the consumer price index for every country and year, with a base value equal to 100 in year 2017, the purchasing power parities for year 2017, and LISSY PPP deflators, which combine both CPI and PPP deflators, and thus can be directly applied to express all the monetary values into 2017 PPP adjusted international dollars. In order to merge the files, I will use the merge command, and I will use the country name and year as my identifiers. And finally, I will only keep the observations that I find in both datasets for every country and every year. In step 4, I will adjust for price differences within and across countries by applying price deflators. First, I will express all the monetary amounts into the local currency units in 2017 prices by dividing the median equivalized household disposable income by each country's consumer price index. Second, I will express all the income values in both countries into 2017 PPP adjusted international dollars, which I will then be able to compare across countries and over time. I will do so by simply dividing all the income values by LISSY PPPs. Finally, I will label both of the variables, the first one as a median equivalized household disposable income in 2017 prices, and the second one as a median equivalized household disposable income in 2017 USD PPPs. Finally, in step 5, I will plot 2 graphs. I will select the plot plane scheme, which has been already pre-installed on LISSY and can be used instead of the original Stata graph schemes. In the first graph, I will plot the changes in the nominal and real income over time separately for both countries. I will export my graph using the graph export command, which is the command supported on the Stata package in LISSY. In the second graph, I will plot the changes in the real median equivalized household disposable income expressed in 2017 PPP adjusted international dollars for both countries. Now that we have completed writing the code, we can send our job to be executed by pressing this green button on the top of the page. We can then view our job under the Recent Job tab, which will show a green cursor once the job is executed. We can then select the job, see the job text, the listing, which shows a regular Stata output, so if you had any tables, they would show up here, and we can also see the graphs. In the first graph, we have plotted the median equivalized household disposable income expressed in national currency. We can see that income growth after adjusting for inflation, the red dotted line, is much lower than the nominal income growth for both Chile and Brazil. However, we cannot compare income levels between Brazil and Chile, because they are still expressed in national currency. In the second graph, we have plotted the median equivalized household disposable income expressed in 2017 PPP adjusted international dollars. Now we can conclude that personal income of the median individual is lower in Brazil than Chile for all years between 2006 and 2016. Now that we have completed the exercise, we can export our results using the Save button. It will save everything as a zip file which can be opened. There we will see the code, the listing, and also the graphs. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions on price deflators and lists, feel free to reach out using my email address. For more short tutorials on list data, check out other videos on the LISS website.